Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to Awesomecallstrading.com. I am AJ. I'm one of the moderators in this great chat room of ours. And before I begin, um, we had a lot of new subscribers that came in January, and it's really important to when a trader comes in from a new room or they've been taught a certain way to look at things. Um, it's interesting the things that we do in here really open a trader's eyes, and especially if we get a new trader. If we get a new trader from just never traded before, this is the way they actually learn from the get-go. There's so many different styles out there. A lot of people like to play the options. I tend to trade mostly equity. I'm just whether I'm scalp trading or I'm going long. And I think what this room really does more than I think anything in the world is the ability to, and it's not the word predict, but it's the word to visualize where the stock is going to go before the bell opens. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's say, for instance, the stock is gapping up 10 points on great earnings. So what I do is I go in and I read the report of the earnings. I look at it, I look at the numbers, then I look at the float, and then I look at the short interest of the stock. And I've been trading for about 15 years, so most of these stocks I know what is high short interest and so forth. From there, I will look and evaluate that a stock will most likely, even up 10 points, it's not going to sell off at the open. Okay. Uh, there's certain stocks that will just squeeze right at the open. What I do is I give a great range before the market even opens where the stock's going to stop and probably give back and start to sell off and where it will stop. And the idea of pre-market notes is to allow a trader to come in whether their account is 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, 25,000, $1 million. I have many clients in here with way over $1 million in their accounts. And what I like to do is I like to give ranges. So somebody can come in anytime during the day, and I like to find plays that will last most of the day. If there's one thing that you have to know about the way I trade, I always like to look for things that um, that I could just trade all day. It's not just, you know, the first 2, 3 minutes and so forth. Um, and I like range plays, stocks that maybe have a 15 point, 20 point pop, and then I fade them, or I'll go even more upside, but I'll get points. And I'm all about points. It's really important for me as a trader that I try to capitalize as many points as I can. Because, yeah, you could trade a stock, and we've done it many times. We could trade 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents. But, when you're in a crowded trade like that, everyone's kind of trading with you. I like to take the trades that, and I like to do stocks, especially the high cap, mid cap, small cap stocks. I don't really trade anything over $400 a share for the room. Once you start to get over 500, like ISRG and Google and Amazon, most of the clients in the room tend to play with less money or they'll play with options, and those are mostly option trades on those high ones. I mean, how you can't really not everybody can go buy 500 shares short Netflix. You know what I mean? But maybe you could do 400 shares short Netflix. I'm sorry, Amazon. You can't short, you know, 500 shares of Amazon. Unless your account is huge. Most people would probably short 10 shares or 20 shares, unless you play the option side, which is fine, and play the puts because obviously the puts is the downside of the trade. But I like to get in Netflix 250, 350 shares, grab 2 points, $700, 650, 550. I'm so happy when I trade like that. It makes me it's so exhilarating for me as a trader. And so what I do is I just try to find a nice variety of stocks that people can choose from. And then I have to watch the market too, because what you want, you have to look at what the market's doing. Is the market flat? If the market's green 200 points, the job reports, there's so many things that you have to look at. And what I try to do every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning is really just sum it up on each stock. This is what's going to do. This is how it's going to react. Based on the market conditions today, this is what we should see. And so today, I decided that our list would confirm of TTNP, AMD, GE, CYOU, SYMC, Tech, DEC, ALXN, Nirvana, Netflix, Tesla, and CY. Now, before I begin, I would like to take a moment out also to really just give a shout out to some of these amazing traders in the room. And as you can see, I get about 100 positive reviews a day from all types of traders. But it thrills me to see like a gentleman like Webster coming in and making $448 today. And of course, we love Noel. I'm currently following him. This is a mod in the making, and he is going to be a mod one day. He's going to be down the road somebody that definitely um, can take a newbies into a room and just I might even build a room for him one day where he could just take all new traders in and just take them from start to finish and just follow his lead. And even today, unfortunately, he started green, I think red for the day, but the day's not over yet, so he may end up being green for the day. So, like, yeah, he shows $121 negative, but I've done about 5 trades since I walked in the room. So, in the last 30 minutes, so he already might be green. And of course, you got to give props to Alex. I mean, just a phenomenal trader. Round of applause to Alex Castro. I mean, what? I mean, Alex came in December 2018. He committed a full year to me, and you know, look at him now, 16,584. His first full month in the month of January. I mean, what do you say to that? What can you say? Um, it's just mad love, mad respect, and the fact that he shares it, and every day he takes this as a job, and that's the thing that will make the difference. When you stop treating this like a hobby or something to do on the side, and you really give it your all, it will change you. The moderators in here are all full time, all right, such as myself, and we all contribute what we know, our knowledges, and what I liked about also was the fact that we just have some of the greatest traders, in my opinion, in the world. We have the great short seller Janny, who's been here almost 5 years. Raphael, who's been here 4 years, right? Um, and Dark Side, he's been with us almost a year and a half now, if not almost 2 years. He's brought a lot of traders into his our great room. Fire, which is Brad, incredible trader. He's been out on vacation with his beautiful family. B Trace, phenomenal, underrated, underfollowed. The man, and he's a police officer full time, but when he comes in here, he gives us. I can't even tell he's a part-time trader because to me he has 2 full-time jobs here and where he works. I mean, just an incredible leadership on small cap. Him and Raphael are just to die for. Bank to Trade, which is Palmer, really educational, very smart gentleman, very humble. Tries to make $500 a day, works part-time, sometimes can't always be in, but when he's in, he contributes. And you can't ask for anything more when it comes to a moderator. And he's so helpful. If you go to his website, Bank to Trade, countless hours of videos, learning lessons, and so forth. And then we have Dave the Trader. Dave the Trader is a great, he's an alert person. He's been here almost 2 years, really quiet, doesn't say much, but doesn't really have to. And but when he speaks, his alerts are to die for. And it's nice that somebody like Noel come in here and make money, but also thank the people that did it. Because not that's one thing you have to know about Awesome Calls Trading. It's that the room isn't just about one person. I have a certain style, the way I trade. I like my style. It works for me. It's worked for me the last 10 years. Um, it took me many years to define what works for me, what I like to trade, what pays my bills, and that's really important to me. But there are other styles. Some people like to do shorts. Some people like to scalp only. Some people like to do swing trades. Some people like just to play options. So there's always a different, way of trading stocks in here. And for me as a trader, I like to have a story behind the idea. So this way, it'll give me an idea where the stock is going to run to, how much it's going to run, and those things are really, really important to me. So anyway, welcome to our webinar, and I'm just going to go right in and just going to share with you a few stocks. But before I do, I want to show you on our chart a couple overnights. I have a new feature in Awesome Calls Trading now, and my feature is what I'm doing now is I'm actually doing extra research, and I'm identifying great calls and plays into earnings before the earnings come out. Now, this is something that I haven't done before, but I wanted to, with all these new chat rooms opening left and right from, traders that just haven't been trading for many years, I wanted to do something that was so just out of this world that, you have to kind of just raise your hands and go, what room is that? I mean, seriously, you almost have to throw up your hands and just go, I got nowhere to go but that room. And that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to um, elevate, you know, awesome calls trading just a whole nother level. So I've implemented this new thing during earnings season, and it's going to happen now every quarter, where I'm going to evaluate certain particular stocks that I feel are going to make moves the next day, or based off their earnings. And it's not just numbers; it's actual research, and I'm very familiar with each of the companies. And so I want to share with you 5 companies that we did overnights, okay, on earnings. And we'll probably present 2 of them on charts. We did SMMC, CY, WFT, ENM, and and Robert, Ruby. What was it? Traders, Ruby, Robbie, Wilbur. What was the stock? Forgot the name of it. Shoot. It'll come to me. Hopefully, somebody in the room can tell me. Um, Ruby, Robbie. Gosh, I don't know the name. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me see here. Barry. Thank you, Taco. Barry. That's right. So we decided that we would go long CY into earnings. So we took long before the close on my suggestion in the room at $13, and I think it was 13.91 or 13.92 or something like that. And the stock hit 15.28. And if you sold after hours, you caught all the way up to 14.50 for good money. So really nice play. Why? Because you had a short in here and it squeezed at the open, which gave even more money to the traders. It was really a very fun play. The next one was SYMC. We bought the stock into close yesterday at $20.97. After hours, the stock rose because of the base that we were going to go long the stock, and earnings were absolutely incredible. Stock squeezed to 24. You could have sold after hours and made up to $23 a share. An incredible 2 opportunities that were presented, given, and we've done this for about 3 days now. And we're going to do it every day now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to allow traders that can't come in all day or part-time traders that can come in and just want to make a quick buck. What's also beautiful about this is these are not counted as day trades unless you sell them into after hours. Okay? So they are not counted as day trades. And if it's if you want to hold them overnight and sell on the pop, that is not considered a day trade. It's not considered. The only round trip on a day trade is if you bought it and then sold it after hours in one day. But if you wait the next day, get the pop, it's not considered a day trade, which is really essential to a lot of traders in the room that can only have a certain amount of trades per day. And so I just want to throw that at you. The other 2 that we did was ENB and no EN what was it? END, I think. EMN, I think it was. Yeah, EMN. I apologize. EMN. And the other one was Barry. Now, both of these that we also took positions at $49.21. Stock hit $52 this morning at the open, and you could have sold at 51 for a 2-point trade. Another great, outstanding earnings play that we called. And the other one was EMN. Now, this one I actually took a loss after hours. I made money on SYMC, but then the report came out on EMN, and unfortunately, it pulled based off the language and the report. But if I had waited, obviously in hindsight, I could have waited, not lost a dime. I could have made money because I went long at $80.62. And I like to post these trades after the bell so you can see them or before the close. So that way, if I do take the positions, I really want you to see it. And then I had a nice trade for the penny stock traders in the room that wanted to make 20, 30 cents. And this stock is called WFT. Um, we were long at 63 cents. And I told the chat room if they took this stock, all right, you could have bought 1,000 shares for 640 bucks, I believe, right? And you could have sold right now 1,000 shares at 84. And I even told the entire chat room the stock will have, if they do well, the earnings, they will have a 40% hit on the stock to the upside. 40%. Now, I don't know what checking account you're with, but I don't think anybody can, a checking account can make you 40% return on your money in one day. So if you had bought in 5,000 shares, that's about what, $3,200? And then you sold 5,000 shares at 85, that's about what, 42, 4,300? You would have made $1,000 on this one alone with 5,000 shares with $3,000 buying power. And I gave this yesterday, long. I chose not to take the stock because I was in SYMC, CY, WFT, and EMN. So, but again, I have a lot of traders with small accounts that would love just to make 500 to 1,000 on a penny stock. And since we don't trade a lot of penny stocks like that, at least I gave them something with a great return on their investment. And that's exactly what we did. Really good. And the long yesterday was at 63 cents. And today, even at the opening bell, was at 75 cents, and then it's now 85 cents. Earnings were really good, very positive. Might even head up towards $1. Strong volume too. Okay, so those are those. Now, so I'm going to take SYMC and CY for charts tonight, and then I'm going to share with you some of the trades that we did in the room today. Okay, let's start with a company called CYOU. All right, this is CYOU. And CYOU was, this one missed on earnings. But again, when you trade alongside me, I do things very, very different. I read reports, all right? I read everything, and I can look at a stock and tell you, this stock will actually be bought up today on weakness. I see a full gap fill, or I'll see a gap fill to $20 a share or 19.75 or something. What I'm telling you to do is, I don't want you to get so caught up on how they missed. I just want you to look at the trade itself, and I want you to make money. So the call today on CYOU was go long at 18. If the stock pulls to 17, don't let it scare you. Add into it. The stock will rebound to probably $19 a share or more. And this is what I wrote down in writing on CYU. Gapping down 2.5. If it opens up under 17, add. The stock will go to 19. So that's telling a trader, and I even told them to nibble long at 17.88 this morning. Start their position and let it go to 17. Some people will get stubborn. They're like, no, I'm going to wait to 17. Well, okay. But see, if you scale in, and let's say your normal position is 500 shares. If you take 250 shares, and if it pulls, you can add. If it doesn't, then just make your money on the point push. Either way, you're going to make $250 on this trade. You don't necessarily have to wait for the 17 pull because I've already done the research for you as a trader. I've already made the decision that the stock will move to 19 plus. So I've already told you that. Why? Because the earnings were not that bad. There was just an overreaction. And based on that overreaction, the stock was going to probably gap fill. All right? So I tell you to take long, add on the dip to 17, have a nice average, and take it to 19 plus. And now look at the trade. It's really not nothing to think about. See it? 1788, hit 19. When it hit 19, I told traders it has more room and fully gap filled. Look at that. So 250 shares at 1788 long position, you would have made almost $300 on that trade. $300 times 5 is $1,500 a week on one little trade. And you don't even need much buying power. 250 shares at 18 is what? I mean, you do the math. That's $4,000 buying power. That means you have to have $600 cash in account. $700 times 6 times is 4,200. There's your first trade. So on $600, you literally could have made $300 on your money. And I'm not trying to sell you, or I don't need to upsell you a DVD, or this chart line DVD, or this. Look at I'm basically teaching you this every single day. There's so much education in this room that you don't need a DVD from me. You don't need it. You know what I offered? What I help you with? Look at my YouTube channel. It's just beginning in the last month. But look at it. Every day you get to recap all of my actions in the room. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds of these that you could just recap. And pretty soon you're going to be able to understand each time. There's no need to be buying all these extra DVDs and line setups and Fibonacci's and all this other crap. The basic fundamentals of trading is just, for me, is understanding the reason behind the move. Once you grasp the reason behind the move, you'll understand why the stock is going to go up. And what that does is it allows you to take size. Size is really, really important. So if you wanted to take 300 shares or 400, because I'm very insistent that the stock is going to pop and it's going to give you a point, then why not take 350 shares? Allow a little bit dip and add into it. So this was a really, really great trade. The next trade that I did, that I offered to the chat room, was a stock called, well, I'll give you two of them. I gave you Tesla and I gave you NVIDIA. Now, I like trading NVIDIA today because I was watching the market and job numbers came out. So I figured we'd probably get a halfway decent pop at the open and then a pullback. And I love to short the pullback. I'm all about the pullback. And then, and Tesla's a really nice range play, especially when the market is gapping up. We had great job numbers. So Tesla was a perfect example of going long in the morning. And any pullback, I would simply just add to it. And so these two really worked out. I want to give you the Tesla call first. You could see it was kind of gapping down this morning a little bit, but once those numbers came out, it was a buying opportunity because Tesla kind of goes with the market as well, and it usually flies out of the gate on numbers. So the call today on that stock was Tesla. I made it our number notable. If it opens towards 302, don't worry. It'll bottom curl, take it long, go to 310 or more. The stock was going to roar to 310. Now the stock is sitting there at $304. So I just told you have to allow Tesla to give you 1 to 2 points on range. You can't tighten it by 50 cents. It doesn't make sense. But you're going to get 4 to 5 points once you buy it. And I really, really emphasize that. So Tesla worked out perfectly, as you can see. And bing, ding, 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 ding. It actually went down to $303. So it allowed you to get in, and if it pulled to 302, this is the kind of trade you take 100, 150 shares, 200 shares in the morning, add on the dip, and once it rips, you get paid. And again, I was very clear that the stock was going to give you 5 points at 310, and look where it hit. You see where it hit? Literally, you can count the minutes. Look at 6:47, it hit 310. Do you know that is 17 minutes from the opening bell? In 17 minutes, you would have made exactly what I promised you, 6 points. Another one was NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA, I felt at the opening was most likely going to pop and pull. So what I had to do for the traders in the room was give it range. I have to tell them specifically where the stock will probably stop, where to look forward to, gauge it, get in there, short it, and then take it down. Now, I'm not, when you watch some of these gurus or furus out there, a lot of them tell you, this is what I'm looking at, and this is what I'm thinking. Okay, that doesn't work for me. Because all you'll end up doing is looking. And you'll never execute a trade because you're looking. And then the nerve of some of these people will go, see, I told you it was going to do that. Okay, forgive me, but that is such horse shit. All right, that is such bullshit. You need specifics when you're trading with a pro. I don't want to hear what you think. I want to know where it's going to go. I want to know specific entries and exits because I'm going to follow your lead on that call because I'm paying you. So you fucking better be on point. Don't tell me it could do this and go this, and I'm gonna sit back for 5 minutes and just kind of watch it. And when it does what I think it could do, I'm gonna take credit for the trade. That is such bullshit. In Awesome Calls Trading, it's specific. You need to be on point because people are trading for real money. This is their livelihood. So I'm very specific. So on NVIDIA, I looked at it and I said, look, this will go between 145 and 147. Get in there, scale in short once it does, right? And then take it down to 142 and bounce it. And then go back to highs. You see that? This isn't hindsight. This isn't after the fact. I am being paid $6 a day to be specific. So a trader that wants to do 500 shares, all right, and put $100,000 on the line to make 2 or 3 points wants to know where that stock's going to go. So NVIDIA, here we go. And why is it moving? Because the job numbers. All right, so it wasn't going to sell off today. So look at where NVIDIA did. Popped at the open. What did I say? 145 to 147. Stock hit 146.30. Right in the middle of what I said. Then I said the stock will pull. I didn't say the stock would sell off to 130, 135. All this bullshit Fibonacci's and look at this line. It could go lower. It could do this. Look at this. It could go lower. Stop it. I'd rather somebody that talks like that just say, I don't fucking know. But in Awesome Calls Trading, 142. It should double bottom around 142, and then you can go long and take it to the high of the day. That's it. That's the trade. And look where it hit, 142.50. So it allows a trader to get in and start their positions at the 142 range and allow themselves, if it pulls a little bit more, they know where it's going. That way, when they go long for 100 shares, 200 shares, they can make $2, $3 on the pull-up. Okay? So that was the video. Another stock that we did today that was very, very specific. Now, this one did frustrate me this morning, and I don't like to get frustrated in the morning. I really don't. I like to be happy. I'm a happy person. I don't know. I lost it this morning. This happens to be probably the most frustrating play of the day. And what was frustrating was the fact that we knew exactly what the stock was going to do. And I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. This was the simplest trade of the day. Now, Deckers had really nice numbers. Okay. Now, what you have to know about Deckers is it's a high short interest stock. So even though if it's up 10, 12 points, the stock is going to fly. Excuse me, hold on. My maids are cleaning the house, so I apologize. So the stock was going to fly out of the gate, and it's with thin volume, especially in pre-market, believe me, it's going to squeeze right out of the gate, and even before the gate. But man, I tell you, this was the most beautiful setup. I was in it. I could probably name a dozen traders that were in our room that were in it. We were all trying to short the stock at 146. There was no ands, ifs, or buts. I mean, you could hear me go, enter, enter. I'm clicking, and I swear, it TD Ameritrade froze. They would not fill one order. And it's not just me. It just froze. And I was doing a market order on this stock, a market order to make sure I got filled. Whatever you give me, just give it to me. The problem is after 90 seconds, it would not fill. It just sat there. Now, you don't want, I had to cancel the order simply because that if I didn't, it could have pulled me, shorted me here and popped me back here, and I got shaken out by 2 points. I would have been down. I was going after it, I think, with 250 shares this morning. Not a lot, because I knew Deckers was going to come down at least 5 or 6 points to the downside. So it was going to be my first $1,000 trade for the morning. And I could start my day like that. And that's how I wanted to start my day. I just wanted to make just $800, $900 to just cover it and be so happy and excited for the rest of the day and just kind of just rest of the day enjoy it. And that's what I called out on that stock. Right here, deck. This is gapping up 10. I want to squeeze to 145 area or more. Top it off, take it down 5 to 7 points. Okay, the stock is sitting at 142, so expect the squeeze, but it will go to 145 right at the open. When it does, get in there. So it was absolutely so. And I was writing this like 20 minutes before the bell opened. As I wrote it, the stock hit 145. So I can't go in and change it because I was finishing my last notes on TTMP. But this 146 was just gold. And I want you to see that if we all had gotten filled, how many of us would have been happy? And remember I said it would come down 5 to 7 points? Look at that. At 146, it came down 7 points to 139. Isn't that incredible? Now, I didn't say the stock was going to come down to 130, 132, or this Fibonacci line, or this line here, or this EMA, or this 16 on the 15, 14 VMA on the vortex. I'm not, come on, stop. Stop. I'm telling you, this stock is going to have a nice day in it. It's not going to come down in gap fill, so you can forget that. Throw that in the trash. But it will come down to probably around, retrace probably to about 139. So I'm looking at a 5 to 7 point. What that tells a trader, they can go in with 50 shares, get 7 points, make 350 for the day. 50 shares, 5 points, make $250 for the day. And that was the trade. After that, I kind of got frustrated with it. As a matter of fact, when I came back in the room, I did take a short on it. And, obviously got filled in 2 seconds because of the liquidity. But boy, this was a beautiful trade. So right now we have, let's see, Sync, CHU, NVIDIA, Tesla, and DEC. Now I do have to give a shout out to B-Trades on his trade this morning on TMSR. I mean, we have in our chat room 2 of the most amazing small cap traders, Raphael and B-Trades. And I don't know how B-Trades does it, but he just nails it. I mean, he comes in and finds these plays for us every morning because we have a lot of traders that don't have a lot of money, and we have traders that do have money that want to play with size. And I love these kind of trades because I will scalp them. 1,000 shares. If I get 60 cents, I'm happy. I don't need to get in there and take 30,000 shares long or 50,000. That's not the way I operate. I don't want to get in a stock that's up 35, 40% and then hope it goes higher. I don't trade in hope. I trade with fact. And this trade was just incredible. B-Trades called the stock this morning around the $4 range, 4.50. He said to watch out for it. He didn't say worth watching. He said volume in. And then he started giving us his pinpoints where it should hit. I immediately flipped over to 180, started giving exact ideas, and said specifically where it would go, where it would top, where it would be. And this was my last call that where it would go, 950. And I called it from here. See that 950? Looks like about a couple months ago. I called that 950 spot. I called 1050 as the absolute top of the stock. Originally, when it started from 4, I ended up calling at 6 and 650 stop. So that was our first area that I was looking for was 650. Once 650 came, then I started calling. I believe I went after. I think it was 727. I was calling right here. Then I went after here and here as the top, and it worked out just absolutely stunning. And then not only when we made our money here, those that missed, B-Trades had called a curl coming. It's another run coming. So I went long here. I believe it was 812 or 815, and I sold for 58 cents to the upside. And I only did, I think it was 1,000 shares or something like that. So I caught a little bit just because he told me it had another move in it. So he is just an incredible talent to have in the room. And one last recap, TTNP. Now, yesterday after hours, the stock had really good news. I couldn't say anything. I'll tell you why. I actually went long the stock. I put in 1,000 shares right here. 1,000 shares at 150. I didn't have much risk, and I put in a limit order at $1.50, 1,000 shares. That's what I put in. And my risk, based on the news, I felt we would probably get a push, an overreaction, and then we'll short it the next day. But I knew I'd gap it up and get a paycheck. And my risk was really only to 125, so I was only going to lose $250. So it was worth the risk reward was there. 50 cents to the upside, I can make 500, 25 cents to the downside. So I've already kind of calculated that. I didn't need to go 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000. And then I really wanted to let Twitter know what I was doing. But you know what I got filled? I don't know if they can show it to you here, but at 150, they gave me, I must have missed this, and this because they gave me 77 shares. Oh my gosh. I'm telling the truth. I only got a 77 share fill. And just like clockwork, the stock had moved all the way up in the twos. I sold it this morning at $2.27. I was actually embarrassed. I couldn't really show that as my first trade because I needed to obviously have to tell you my entry. I don't tell you after the fact. And I would have told you I would have got 1,000 shares at $1.50. I just couldn't get filled. And but today's call was pop at the open, uh, cap it off, top it, just take it down to 150. I think 180 and under. I said it should take all day. It was our number one pick this morning. TTV gapping up one. I like to see a small pop at the open. If it hits the 275 area, take it back down to $1.50. In the end, this was going to come all the way down. It was going to be an all-day fader. And that was our number one pick in the room. And the reason is because I have a lot of short sellers in the room that like small cap stocks, $5 and under, that can go in 2,000 or 3,000 shares and just rip it down a point, make $3,000. I have a guy that comes in here specifically for 1 hour to do this, and he makes probably about 800 a day. That's all he does. He just waits for the number one pick, and he starts in short before I even start writing, and he waits for the pop, and he adds into it, and then he goes, okay, are we done? Yep, just sell off into it. If he had stayed, I think he left early this morning. I told him 150 and under, and the stock hit right there, 158. So I was right on point on this stock. So let's recap what I want to do this week for Sunday. TTNP. I want to do that stock. I want to do TMSR for B trades. Okay. I want to do DEC, Tesla, NVIDIA, CYOU. And for the earnings trades, I want to add two more charts, SYMC and CY, to present to you over the weekend on Sunday. I hope you enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. Have fun. I'm going to probably do all my stuff in the morning before the game even starts. After the game, I'm going to make an announcement on Twitter. So, and it's mostly for, without giving too much away, I have to double check with my man Dark Side to make sure we're all ready to go. But it's for the room, and for those that want to be a part of the room. So it's gonna be fun and exciting. It's well deserved. So anyway, so I'll do that after the Super Bowl, and we'll get ready for Monday morning to trade and have fun and excited. So today was a very, very fulfilling day. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. I hope you listened to it over the weekend. And again, I want to congratulate everyone that trades in here. We're growing every day, and it's because you are the voice of Awesome Calls Trading. And if you ever want to join us, 25 for a day, 100 for the week, and 197 for a month. And that's it. So take care, and I will see you all on Monday morning. Bye-bye.